Hey guys, today's video I'm just gonna do a little bit about graphing, these quadratic inequalities. We're not gonna really solve because I want to do that in class together. I feel like that could be a little bit more confusing over the video. But for graphing, we're gonna do the same thing that we did in graphing quadratics before, where we find the axis symmetry and the vertex, which is in standard form, negative b over 2a, but we're going to add something a little bit more to it. So there's a couple steps here on how to graph your quadratic, finding the y-intercept and all that good stuff. Let's just start with the first example together. Let's find the vertex first. To do that, we need the axis of symmetry, which is x equals negative b over 2a. It's going to be 8 over 4, which is 2. The x part of the axis symmetry is the first part of the vertex. To get the next part of the vertex, you plug back in that 2 in for x. So it's going to look like this. And we're going to be left with 2 squared, which is 4, times 2 is 8, minus 16 plus 6, which gives you negative 2. The y-intercept is simply just the constant c value, 0, 6. That's going to be up here. The vertex, 2, negative 2. And we can also, if we wanted to get another point on here to make a nicer vertex, let's see what happens when we plug in maybe 3. We plug in 3, 18 minus 24 plus 6, we get 0. And here's the new stuff. The new stuff is that we're not going to draw a solid line. We're going to draw a dotted line. Remember, dotted for inequalities is if it's less than or greater than. It's going to be a dotted line. It's solid if it had the equal to. Next, we have to talk about shading. And you're going to shade below the line. Every time you see a line, you shade below for less than. You're going to shade above. You see the greater than sign. So less than sign here, below. And not only is it just below like this, you have to follow below all the way up to the line. If it was above, this graph would be here. Okay, I think the confusing part for this video would be the shading, figuring out where to shade. Basically, you look at your boundary on your parabola, and if it's above your boundary, you shade everything in that here. If it's below, you shade everything that's being walled off. Okay, and you can't cross that borderline even if it's dotted or solid. Let me know what questions you have simply on graphing dotted versus solid lines. Think about how to find the y-intercepts. Think about that negative b over 2a formula for the vertex and standard form of a quadratic. And then we're going to work on the back as basically a warm-up to start next class and how to solve these and continue practicing. Have a great night, guys. See everybody next time.